Hey friends, it's time for another Friday Fun Fact, where I'll send you a precarious packet of information you might not have known before. This week, in honor of the 200th birthday of the legend of Sleepy Hollow, we're talking about the Headless Horseman. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving is one of the quintessential American ghost stories. In fact, it's a quintessential New York ghost story, as it takes place in Sleepy Hollow, New York, which is actually about an hour south of here on the Hudson River. It tells the tale of Ichabod Crane, the itinerant schoolmaster of the town. He's prone to telling stories, and one of the most popular tales in the town is that of the Headless Horseman, said to be the ghost of a German soldier who died during the Revolutionary War after his head was shot clean off by a cannonball. His body was buried, but his ghost rises every night, searching for his lost head. But telling tales doesn't mean you can't be scared of them, and Ichabod is often spooked by nighttime noises on his ride homes at night. The story really begins when he falls in love with Katrina von Tassel, the daughter of a wealthy farmer. His rival in romantic pursuits is one Brom Bones, who, since Ichabod won't square up and fight him over Katrina, has taken to pranking him. It is at a party at the Van Tassel residence that things start to fall apart. Ichabod waits long after the party ends to woo Katrina, but to his surprise, she spurns him. By the time he leaves, it's late at night, and he's riding home in the dark on a horse with one blind eye. Suddenly, he is beset upon by a monstrous rider, who starts riding next to him, keeping pace every time Ichabod tries to get away. When they pass into a better lit area, Ichabod realizes that the rider's head is not on his neck, but instead in front of him on the saddle. This scares Ichabod so much, he urges his horse faster and faster, pursued by the Headless Horseman. As he's reaching the safety of the old church bridge, he looks back at his pursuer, only to see that the Headless Horseman has thrown his very head at him. It hits, and we learn that Ichabod's body was never found, only his hat and a smashed pumpkin. While the Legend of Sleepy Hollow definitely popularized the idea of the Headless Horseman, they have occurred elsewhere in literature and folktales. Two well-known Headless Horsemen are the Green Knight from Gawain and the Green Knight, a story about one of King Arthur's knights, and the Dullahan. The Green Knight, who, in a test of Gawain's honor, lets Gawain cut his head off if he'll let the Green Knight come back in a year and a day to do the same. A bunch of knightly stuff happens, but the end result is that Gawain gets the lesson that being honorable is a thing you need to practice, and as long as you're trying, you're doing great. The Dullahan, on the other hand, is a terrifying fae from Celtic mythology who brings death or blindness to everyone who crosses his path. If he says your name, you die, and if you look upon him, he blinds you, either by throwing blood in your face or whipping you with a whip made of a human spine. Metal. He carries his head with him, and it's said to have supernaturally good sight, so good luck hiding. It's easy to see how such a figure has become a mainstay in popular culture, especially around Halloween. The supernatural has always been something people are drawn to, and Gothic literature like this story are a great example of that. A subgenre of the Romantic movement, Gothic literature was a kind of response to the Enlightenment, which was focused on facts and logic. Gothic lit responded by saying that there are things you do not know and cannot control, no matter what you learn. It is this fact that gives these stories their staying power. There will always be the unknown, no matter how much we know. Sources-wise, I used videos about folklore from these two channels, as well as a few articles about the text and Gothic lit. I was also able to access the full text thanks to Project Gutenberg. I highly recommend you click the link below to read it. The story has way more detail than I was able to include. Like, subscribe, and I'll sleep tight. The horseman rides tomorrow night.